Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going on an adventure to one of the most amazing places on Earth, Yellowstone National Park. It's famous for its geysers, like Old Faithful, and its incredible wildlife. But did you know that deep beneath all that beauty lies something huge and powerful? A supervolcano. Now I know what you're thinking. A supervolcano? That sounds scary. And you're right, it's a big deal. But today, we're going to talk about what's really happening at Yellowstone, especially with some news you might have heard about a potential shutdown and a massive number of earthquakes. Let's break it down in a way that's super easy to understand. Imagine the Earth is like a giant layered cake. We live on the very thin, cool top layer, which is called the crust. Deeper down it gets hotter and hotter, and there's a gooey, super hot layer of rock called magma. Yellowstone sits right on top of a huge pocket of this magma, which is why it has all those cool geysers and hot springs. The heat from the magma chamber below boils the groundwater, and poof, you get a geyser show. So what does it mean when people talk about a Yellowstone shutdown? It's a bit of a dramatic term, but what it really refers to is a potential large-scale eruption. If the supervolcano were to have a massive eruption, it would be a very, very big event. It would throw huge amounts of ash, rock, and gas high into the atmosphere. Scientists think that if this happened, it could cover large parts of the United States in a thick layer of ash and even change the weather around the world for a few years. It would definitely mean that Yellowstone National Park and a huge area around it would be closed or shut down for a very long time. But here's the most important part. Scientists who study Yellowstone 24/7 say that an eruption like this is extremely unlikely to happen anytime soon. Now let's talk about those earthquakes. You might have seen headlines like 80,000 quakes rock Yellowstone. That sounds like a whole lot of shaking, right? And it is. But it's also completely normal for Yellowstone. Think of the ground at Yellowstone like the lid on a pot of boiling water. As the water bubbles and steams, the lid jiggles and rattles. Yellowstone is the same. The ground is constantly moving and adjusting because of all the hot magma and water moving around beneath the surface. These little movements cause earthquakes, which are also called seismic activity. Most of these quakes are so tiny that you wouldn't even feel them if you were standing right there. Scientists have super sensitive equipment to detect them. They happen in groups called earthquake swarms, where hundreds or even thousands of these tiny quakes can happen over a few weeks. So, seeing tens of thousands of earthquakes over several decades is actually just Yellowstone being Yellowstone. It's the park's way of breathing and letting off a little steam. It doesn't mean a big eruption is about to happen. In fact, it's the opposite. These little quakes are a good thing. They release pressure from under the ground, kind of like slowly letting air out of a balloon instead of it popping all at once. Scientists watch these earthquakes very closely. They look for specific patterns. Are the quakes getting stronger? Are they getting closer to the surface? Is the ground itself starting to bulge upwards in a certain way? These would be the warning signs that something different is happening, and that magma is moving up towards the surface. And guess what? Scientists are not seeing any of these scary warning signs. The ground level goes up and down a little bit each year as the ground breathes, but there are no big, alarming changes. The number and type of earthquakes are all within the normal range for Yellowstone. Everything points to the supervolcano being in its usual calm state. So why do we hear these scary stories about a shutdown? Sometimes news stories can take a small piece of information, like the number of earthquakes, and make it sound much more alarming than it really is to get your attention. It's always a good idea to listen to the actual volcanologists, the scientists who are the experts on volcanoes. They use incredible technology, like GPS trackers to measure ground movement to the millimeter, and seismographs to listen to the Earth's rumbles. They have a really good understanding of what's going on. The last major eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano was over 630,000 years ago. That's long before the first humans were even around. There have been smaller lava flows since then, but the last one of those was about 70,000 years ago. So geologically speaking, the volcano is very active, but on a human timescale, it's very, very quiet. What does this all mean for visitors? It means that Yellowstone is one of the safest and most fascinating places you can visit. The park is open, and millions of people safely enjoy its wonders every single year. You can go see Old Faithful erupt, watch bison roam freely, and marvel at the colorful hot springs. The science shows us that there is no immediate danger. You're far more likely to get stuck in a traffic jam caused by a herd of bison than to be affected by the volcano. So the next time you see a scary headline about Yellowstone, remember what we talked about today. A shutdown is a term for a massive eruption that is extremely unlikely to happen in our lifetime, or even our great-great-great-great-grandkids' lifetimes. And those 80,000 earthquakes? That's just the normal, healthy rumbling of a living, breathing geological wonder. It's a sign that the park is alive, not that it's about to explode. Yellowstone is a reminder of how powerful and amazing our planet is. It's a place monitored by some of the smartest scientists in the world, who would give us plenty of warning if things were to change. For now, we can all just appreciate it for the incredible natural treasure that it is. So don't be scared, be curious. Learn about the science, plan a trip if you can, and enjoy one of the coolest places on Earth. Thanks so much for watching and learning with me today. I hope this cleared things up and made you even more excited about our amazing planet. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more cool topics, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.